coming here, we drove by, like, instead of turning off and going to Fresno Street, we took that street all the way down to California, or Caesar Chavez. So, is it going out? So we'd like just to see, like, where it happened at, you know. You sure it's correct? It's working on.
Yeah, it's going on.
But it's still Maklub.
Okay.
No, this is the old one. Okay, never mind. Is it correct? Is the video correct? Let me see. Because it keeps opening up the one that we just deleted.
It's not, it's going online.
I don't know. I don't know right now. Is this it? Yeah, all right. Hold on. Let me turn the volume on. All right. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. All right. We are on chapter 61. 61. قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى لا يشبع دون جاره. So this chapter is that a person should not get full without his neighbor. If his neighbor is hungry, then he should not get full. All right.
Hey, Bab.
Huh?
Babish.
باب 61. احفظ الصفحة أنت. فين النار؟ وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Toronto, Canada. Alright, so now, so bab la yashba'u duna jarihi, which means that he shouldn't, go to bed full and remain full while his neighbor is hungry. Famous hadith. Why is this hadith famous? Can't seem to open up Facebook or Instagram without seeing this hadith from one of these du'ats. These famous du'at keep using this hadith in his commercials. Alright, so now, hadith number 112. حدثنا محمد بن كثير قال أخبرنا سفيان here is al-Dari, Sufyan al-Thawri, عن عبد الملك ابن أبي بشير عن عبد الله بن المساور قال سمعت ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما يخبر ابن زبير رضي الله عنهما يقول سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول ليس المؤمن الذي يشبع وجاره جائع. Alright, so as we go back through the chain of narration before we get to Ibn Abbas, the person that narrated this hadith from Ibn Abbas is Abdullah ibn Musawir, and he's Majhul al-Hal. Majhul al-Hal, that means his status is unknown. Alright, and all the other different chains of narration with this hadith, they all have some type of severe weakness in the chain of narration. So, according to Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah, he made the hadith Hasan. Allahu A'lam. So, like I said, all of the other chains of narration, they have very, very, very severe weakness in them. So the Zahir, and Allah knows best, is that the hadith is la yathbut. It's not sahih, not authentic. But we'll go over it anyway. So Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, he informed Ibn Zubayr, radiallahu anhuma, that he said, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that a believer is not a believer is not the one that goes, he's full while his neighbor is hungry. He's full while his neighbor is hungry. And this is the case for believers to another believer, not just to, not specifically for this scenario of eating, but the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. So that a person does not truly believe until he loves for himself, or he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. So if you love that you go to bed, on a full stomach, then you want love that your brother what? Goes to bed hungry. Yeah. So in reality, the meaning is true. The meaning is true of the hadith. That because obviously, and our neighbor has a right over us, and it's not from the traits of a believer that he sits up and eats, comfortably, while he knows that his neighbor is starving and his neighbor doesn't have anything. So even if his neighbor is not a Muslim, all right, if you have neighbors that are kuffar, but you know that they're suffering and they're having difficulties, and you try to make more food, try to increase the amount of food that you have, make more rice, make more, if you're making for us, just every day, not every day, but most of the days, beans and chicken and rice, beans and chicken and rice. So you just make more, just cook a little bit more beans,
Even if they're
Yeah, they're your neighbors, so your neighbors, they have rights upon you. And if you know that your neighbors are suffering, you know this, and you try to help them out, take some food to them. If you have something extra, give it to them. Because how could you sleep comfortably at night knowing that, you going to, comfort and living in comfort and your neighbor is suffering, or you're living in comfort and, you have brothers that are close to you that are suffering. So, no doubt, the trait of the believer is that he wants for his brother, for his brother what he wants for himself. So, although the hadith is not authentic, and Allah knows best as far as the authenticity of this hadith, but the meaning, as far as the meaning is correct. All right, the next chapter, chapter 62, Bab yukthiru ma al-marqi fayaqsimu fil jiran. And this is a way that you can do this. You want to Yusufi? Huh? Huh? Yeah. We'll wait till we finish this so he doesn't want to eat it. Is it going?
Huh?
I told him, I said if he wants a tangerine. Is that what you call that in English?
Tamales and tangerines.
Huh?
Tamales and tangerines.
Tamales and tangerines. That's a recipe for disaster right there.
Real?
I don't mean it, I'm pretty sure it tastes good, but I'm just saying once it sits in your stomach. Yeah.
I got a rock that stomach.
Takes whatever.
I eat. I've been there to the big house many times.
It takes whatever.
I stopped eating meat before, period.
But this chapter, inshallah, will show you this chapter. The hadiths are going to be authentic, and it's going to at least show you and give you some guidelines to how to give that extra food to the neighbors. All right, so he said, "Bab yukthiru ma al-marqi fayuqsimu fil jiran." So the chapter is what yukthiru. Yukthiru, it means to make something a lot. Kathura, it means to become a lot. Akthara, it means to make something a lot. Alright, so akthara, yukthiru ma al-marq. Al-ma, alright, the water. Al-marq. What is al-marq?
زي شيء تطبخ فيه تطبخ اللحم في الماء بعد إيقاظ الماء فيه.
Yeah, it's like in English you call it the broth. Right? It's not like soup.
Broth not like a soup, not like.
No, the soup would have other things in it. But let's say that you're cooking chicken,
mixture or something.
Yeah, because the Arabs, whenever they're cooking the chicken or the meat, they'll make like a lot of marq, like a lot of broth, and they drink that before the meal. And then they make the rice and all that, so then once they do that, they'll take the meat out, they'll cook it, they'll fry it up, and then they'll put it with the rice. And then they'll eat the meat with the rice, but they'll drink the broth, yeah. So, because it's all the fat and, the bone marrow and all the good stuff, all the good taste is in that. And some of the broth, they'll cook the rice with it, So what he's saying is that you increase when you're, if you're making this much broth for yourself, increase it. So you can give some to your neighbors, so they can use it also. Because if they're poor, they might not be able to afford meat, but if you give them the broth, and then they can take some vegetables and cook that in the broth, or even cook the rice, it makes
a meal.
Yeah, it makes that, but it gives it that meaty taste, So even if you can't have meat, still, and that's why you should, increase that anyways.
Still got the protein from the meat in it, right?
And the vitamins, all the vitamins and stuff that you need is in that water.
Right.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, that's why they drink that before the milk. All right, so that's what he's talking about here. So he said, حدثنا بشر بن محمد بشر بن محمد المروزي Shaykh al-Bukhari قال أخبرنا Abdullah here is Ibn al-Mubarak. Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak. We've come across his name quite a few times here. And Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak was famous because he was known that he would, every 2 years, like he had this schedule that he would do every 2 years. He was very rich. And he was a very strong student of knowledge. But Allah blessed him also with a lot of wealth. Like he came from a good family. And so he would go out and he would make Hajj 1 year, and what would he do the other year? He would make Hajj 1 year, and the second year he would go out and do a ribat, which is what? Like he would go out and do like guard duty with the people fighting, to keep the enemy from attacking the Muslims. So he would go out and guard the different, Muslim areas where the militaries are, where the soldiers are fighting, to keep the enemy. So he would basically go out for like jihad 1 year, and he'd go and he would make Hajj the next year, and he would do this every other year. So this was his continuous thing. And then throughout the year, he would constantly seek knowledge of hadith. So Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah, he mentioned something about Abdullah ibn Mubarak. He said, إني لا أشتهي من عمري كله أن أكون سنة مثل ابن مبارك فما أقدر أن أكون ولا ثلاثة أيام. He said, what's going on with the electricity there? It's probably a neighborhood thing there. Yeah. When you see that in Florida, when you see that, it's about to go out. Yeah, that means like some tree probably fell over on one of the, because you get the trees that get hit by lightning and they land on the yeah. Happened to our neighbor, man. That tree just blew right over him, right on the wires. Yeah, so Sufyan al-Thawri, he said, "Inni la ashtahi," like I desire, min umri kulli, for my whole life. He said, I desire for my whole life to have 1 year, just to do 1 year like Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, just like him, just to be like him for 1 year. So just to do all the stuff that he used to do. He said, فَمَا أَقْدِرْ. He said, I was not able to do it. He said, أَنْ أَكُونْ وَلَا ثَلَاثَةَ أَيَّامٍ. He said, I couldn't even do 3 days like Abdullah. I couldn't even do what he does for 3 days, much less what? An entire year. Because of the amount that he used to do, his type of worship. And even all the money that he had, he all for the people. He didn't sit back and live like a luxurious life. His lifestyle was the lifestyle of a poor person with money. He had the money, but he never looked at the money like it's mine. It's all for the people. Then he said, also Ibn Uyayna, he mentioned about him. He said, نَظَرَتُ فِي أَمْرِ الصَّحَابَةِ فِي أَمْرِ الصُّحْبَةِ. He said, I looked at the affairs of the companionship, like what it means to be a companion of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I looked at the affairs and the issues of companionship. He said, وَعَمْرُ عَبْدِ اللَّهِ. And then he said, I looked at the affairs of the Sahaba, about the people and what they were to be companions of the Messenger. And then he said, I looked at the affairs of Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak, right? He said, I looked at him. فَمَا رَأَيْتُ لَهُمْ عَلَيْهِ فَضْلًا. But I didn't see any virtue that they had over him as far as actions, إِلَّا صُحْبَتَهُمَ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم, except that they were companions of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. وَغَزْوَهُمْ مَعَهُمْ, and that they fought with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And obviously this is like, Sufyan ibn Uyayna, he's praising Abdullah ibn Mubarak, but obviously this is not 100% true, because you have the Muhajirun, they made hijrah with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdullah ibn Mubarak did not make hijrah with the Prophet. The Ansar made bay'ah to the Prophet, they gave their allegiance to the Prophet, and Abdullah ibn Mubarak didn't do that. So there's a lot of other things that the Sahaba have over Abdullah ibn Mubarak, other than just simply being companions and fighting with the Messenger. But it's just what they're doing is like here he's talking about the fadl and the virtue of Abdullah ibn Mubarak. That he was at that status that the only thing that he was missing was what? Out of all of his actions and all the good things that he did, the only thing that he was missing was he wasn't a companion of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the only thing that he was missing. And if he had that, then khalas, it would have been like the complete package. But because obviously he came after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. So, you know, he's not going to be a companion, but he had everything else. Everything else as far as knowledge, as far as everything that you see amongst the Sahaba. So he said, أخبرنا عبد الله قال أخبرنا شعبة. Hamza's not here yet, so I can't ask him. Shu'bah ibn Man. Alright. And what is it? And Abi Imran al-Jawni. And Abdullah ibn Samit. And Abi Dhar رضي الله عنه. قال أوصاني خليلي صلى الله عليه وسلم بثلاث. So he said, my intimate friend gave me advice for three things. Who is he talking about, my intimate friend? Yeah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alright, so he said, أسمعوا وأطيعوا ولو لعبد مجدع الأطراف. He said that you hear and you obey. Hear and obey who? Huh?
Joe?
No.
No.
The ruler, the person, the Muslim that's put in authority over the Muslims. The Muslim ruler, the Muslim leader. He said that you hear and obey, even if the person that's like the leader of the country. He said, وَلَوْ لِعَبْدٍ مُجَدَّعَ الْأَطْرَافِ. He said, what? Even if the leader that's put over you is a slave and all of his limbs are cut off. Like he has no hands, no feet, no everything's cut off, you know, because you look at him and you're like, come on, what is he? Why would we respect him? You know, because number one, he was a slave, and then he's cut off, all of his body parts are cut off. So he said, even if he's at this status, what? Hear and obey. This hadith is authentic, by the way. Alright, so he said, hear and obey. He said, وَإِذَا صَنَعْتَ مَرَقَةً, because these are three pieces of advice. That's number one. Number one, the first piece of advice is what? As-sam'u wa ta'a. So, you know, asma'u wa ati'u. So to be, you know, to hear and obey, that means that you be obedient to the Muslim ruler. Under whatever circumstance, as long as he's what? A Muslim. You know, again, if the person has done something that's left Islam, then that's a different issue. He said, وَإِذَا صَنَعْتَ مَرَقَةً فَأَكْثِرْ مَاءَهَا. He said, and if you cook broth, like you're making broth, he said, فَأَكْثِرْ مَاءَهَا. Then make it what? Increase the amount that you cook. Yeah. He said, ثُمَّ انظُرْ أَهْلَ بَيْتٍ مِنْ جِيرَانِكَ. And then look at a house from amongst your neighbors. فَأَصِبْهُمْ مِنْهُ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. And then you find somebody that needs it, you find somebody in need, and say, here you go, take this. And you know, and you give it to them. Alright, so that was advice number 2. Advice number 3, وَصَلِّ الصَّلَاةَ لِوَقْتِهَا. And pray the prayer on its, you know, during the time that it's been written for you to pray it. فَإِنْ وَجَدْتَ الْإِمَامَ قَدْ صَلَّى. And if you found that the Imam has already prayed, فَقَدْ أَحْرَزْتَ صَلَاتَكَ. And you have, you know, you've gotten your salat. You know, because you prayed on time. You prayed on time, so you've gotten the reward for your salat. Even if the Imam has already prayed and you pray on time, you still get the reward for your salat. He said, وَإِلَّا فَهِيَ نَافِلَةٌ. But if you've already prayed and you pray again, like you come and like, for example, this was in the time of, you had later on after the Prophet ﷺ, after Sahaba, you had certain imams, like emirs, you know, like leaders of different Muslim areas. They would combine the salawat. So they would pray dhuhr or asr. And they would make dhuhr late until like it was right close to Asr. Like it wasn't like it would leave its time, but you know, they would pray Dhuhr at its last time and Asr at its earliest time, and like pray them back to back. You know, and this is what they would do. So the people, like, you know, the people of, you know, the righteous people, they would pray on time, but they would pray in their homes because it was forbidden to pray in the masjid because you're going against the emir, and they didn't want to do that. So they would pray all time in their homes, and then they would go to the masjid. And they will pray, you know, when they're praying Dhuhr again, they'll pray with them again, but it will be like what? An nafilah, because he's already prayed on time. Now he comes and they're praying, but they're praying late. So he prays with them just to keep the peace, you know. But he prays on time at home. And then he'll pray Asr with the people on time. You know, so this is what he's talking about here, and Allah knows best. So he said, the next hadith, 114, Hadathana al-Humaydi, and this is the same meaning. For that one part, not the whole 3 pieces of advice, but that one part about the maraq. He said, حدثنا الحميدي قال حدثنا أبو عبد الصمد العمي قال حدثنا أبو عمران عن عبد الله بن صامت عن أبي ذر رضي الله عنه قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أبا ذر إذا طبخت مرقة فأكثر ماء المرقة. Alright, he said وتعاهد جيرانك أو اقسم في جيرانك. So he said to Abu Dhar said that the Prophet ﷺ said, O Abu Dhar, if you cook broth, if you're cooking broth, فأكثر ماءها, then increase the amount of water that you put in the broth. And he said, وتعاهد جيرانك. Ta'ahada, it's like, it's kind of like, it has the meaning of like, that you like, how can you say this in English? Like in Arabic, it means ألزم نفسه بتفقده والاهتمام به. You focus on like, if like التفقد in the Arabic language, it means that you miss the person. Like if the person's not there, you notice. Like, hey man, where's Fulan? He didn't come to the masjid today. And you call him or you try to find out. This is what you call an tafaqqud. So you have this to where like, if you see like your neighbor and you're like, wait man, I haven't seen him come out today. Is he okay? You go to his house and you check on him. So this is like, things like this. And you have like this ihtimam bihi. So you just want to make sure that he's okay. Hey, you got everything you need. And he checks up on him. If he doesn't see him for a while, he goes and visits him just to see like, okay, is everything okay?
Check, personal welfare check.
Yeah, but no, it's like if he doesn't see him, it's like he misses him. And he wants to make sure that he's okay. So, and he makes this like incumbent upon himself to have this behavior with him. So this is what ta'ahud means. So whenever you have this, that you go and you make sure that, okay, look, I have this mother. I want to make sure that you have something, so here you go. Take this. And then you go and you always check up on him and give him whatever extra that you have. So this is what he's talking about. So, and it's not just for Marok. I mean, obviously this was in the time of the Sahaba because they were poor. Us, I mean, subhanAllah, we could, just add some more vegetables, add some more, what I'm saying? We have more stuff at our disposal. It's not, you don't have to, because nowadays probably in America, if you just went.
Way more stuff.
Yeah, but if you just went and just gave your neighbor like a whole bunch of broth, they'd be like, what do you give me that for? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to give them some food nowadays. So, I mean, all of this goes back to the customs of the people. So, it's not saying that you have to do exactly, this is what they did because this was common amongst them. So, you just do what's common amongst us. Like, so obviously, it's like, not like, I'm going to be cooking oatmeal, so I'm going to increase the oatmeal and take some to my neighbor. No, I mean, if he's really poor and he's really in need, what is he going to say? No. Or invite him over and let him eat with you every day so he doesn't feel like, you're just taking handouts. You're inviting him as a guest. You're honoring him as a guest. So if he's single, I mean, obviously can't invite the whole family over every day. But, you do what you can, so with whatever situation that you can. What are you laughing at? Huh? I haven't even looked at him, so.
Kid.
No, it's the comments.
Oh, what's somebody say?
I don't know. He's been reading it. I don't know.
What did they say?
Like subscribing to share.
I think that's Abdul Malik.
He say what?
Subscribe. Allah yahfadak Abdul Malik. Allah yahfadak. He's like telling everybody subscribe and turn on the notifications,
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't do that, everybody whenever they're doing the videos,
Yeah.
please subscribe to my channel. We're not going to do that. But thanks, man. Thanks for doing it, though. He's taking the break out of there. He's been working. He works all day in the heat. Well, nah, he ain't working in no heat. He's in Oakland.
Oh, he's still out there?
Yeah. He's working on that house.
I called him, I think that was today. Trying to call the young mountain.
I don't know, because there was a dude out here yelling at the door this morning, 7:42.
For who?
Just yelling at the door. He wanted somebody to let him in.
The gate was open?
No. There was a brother, what's his name? I think Abdul Malik said his name is Abdul Rahman. He was in the masjid reading Quran. And this guy was yelling, so he didn't want to go out because he was like, well, I don't know who this guy is.
Mom is the one that be in that truck.
Yeah, okay, so he's like, if I open the gate for him, he might run in and just run amok. And
he ain't finna do nothing, you know what I mean? He comes solely for Allah.
Yeah.
That's what he comes for.
Well, that's what he needs to do. Don't ignore the yelling.
For Allah, he ain't trying to.
We get people yelling out here all the time, so it's like, But he was just yelling, let me in, let me in. And the funny thing is like Abdul Rahman, I guess, he got Abdul Malik on speakerphone and told him, and so the guy's yelling, he's like, who are you? Who blah, blah, blah. He said, I got the keys to the gate. I got the keys to the kitchen. So Abdul Malik's like, if you got the keys to the gate, open the gate. what are you yelling at the gate for? You know, it's like.
Was it Ali?
No, this was some, I don't know if he's the Indian. No, it's like Indian, Pakistani, I don't know. Older guy though, he's not young. I've never seen him before. Check the camera, 742. Check it, inshallah. You see him out on the cameras yelling at the gate.
Someone let him in?
Beating on the gate, yeah. So I ain't gonna go through the whole thing. But let's just say somebody, and you know who you are, somebody convinced him to leave. He's like, beating on the gate. Somebody's gonna pull up in a minute, and then you ain't gonna be happy. So, yeah. All right. So let's see. If a woman's husband and mother or father ask her to do something around the same time, who should she obey first? The mother is the first obedience, and her husband should understand that. Because, you know, especially if she's spending the most time with her husband, she's constantly with her husband, and her mother needs her for something, she should go and assist her mother, and the husband shouldn't stand in the way of that. That's her rights of the mother that she has over, and and the thing about it is I will tell, this is my advice to all men out there, because some men are just, they ain't very smart. If you want to have a very good relationship with your wife, you make sure that her mother loves you. If her mother loves you, what? You will never have any problems. Her mother stands up and defends you when she's arguing and she's saying, oh, but he does this, but the mother you have a good relationship with the mother be like, no, you go back to that house and keep your mouth shut. Like, the mother will take care of you, So when it comes time to stuff like that, where the mother, she needs her, let her go assist her mother. And you go help her mother too, the husband. And that way you have that relationship. Because I'm telling you, that's invaluable right there, boy.
Don't get in the middle of their stuff.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Stay out of the.
Do what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Not get in the middle of their stuff, just because she's on your side.
Oh no, because you still gotta live with. You still gotta go home with the wife. So you're not trying to make an alliance with the mother against the wife, because you still gotta live with the wife. So no, you gotta be fair. But you know how it is, because the wife is always going to go to the mother first looking for an ally. And if the mother doesn't give her that ally, then she has to come back and deal with the situation on her own, which is better. All right, so it says, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Understand whether about landlords who are also your neighbors, different floor of the house. I guess the relationship here is a bit more tense than usual. Why would it be tense if they're landlords?
Your neighbor.
I mean, depends. If they're Muslim or they're not Muslim, but
what are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
It shouldn't be tense. You're not breaking the house and you're not doing anything that's causing
music. You got a company.
No, it shouldn't be a tense relationship. If you just go and have a good relationship with the person, that's good. That makes your life easier living in the house.
100 people knocking on your door.
Harun said, is it from the Sunnah to recite from the Quran for a dead person? No, it's not from the Sunnah. It's not from the Sunnah. It's nothing that person's going to benefit.
Oh, so they're saying recite Quran to the grave?
No, it's not that. He said they recite from the Quran for that person to get the ajr. No, that person's actions are done. They're over. It's inqata amalu. So you read the Quran for yourself and make dua for, you sit down and you read the Quran for you, for ajr for you, for reward for you, and when you're done reciting the Quran and you make dua for that person, make dua for him. Make dua that Allah have mercy on him. Make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his grave spacious, and that he forgives him his sins, or her or whoever. Make dua for the person. But as far as doing actions for that person, Instead, many of us ask Allah for barakah and time. What are some asbab we should take? Obedience to Allah. Obedience to Allah is the sabab, is the asbab. Is it halal to make dua after every prayer without raising their hands. It's not halal. It's not from the sunnah to make dua after every prayer anyways. That's bid'ah. You do the adhkar. You do the adhkar. You want to make dua in sujood. Is it authentic that reading Surah Kaf on Friday protects you from the Dajjal? No. What is authentic is that you memorize the first 10 ayahs of the Surah Al-Kaf and you recite them. And that protects you from the Dajjal. But reading Surah Al-Kaf on Friday, no. That's not what the hadith is. And for all of you, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All of you.
Did y'all see me on camera yesterday?
No, huh?
Y'all see me on camera yesterday?
Nah, when?
Oh, the day before yesterday.
Nah, my son hasn't been doing anything, man. But yeah, he only checked the cameras because Abdul Malik, he sent me a message in the morning saying that, check it. So I checked the cameras to see what was going on. But otherwise, not. What happened?
I was out here cleaning, and I was rinsing it down. I just heard red bullets.
When was this?
Day before yesterday.
A bunch of bullets.
That's an array of bullets. That's all I heard. I said, I already know them ain't firecrackers. And they.
What time was it?
It was like 9.
No, because that was yesterday. Somebody got killed out here.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Somebody got killed right there on Mola.
The day before yesterday.
Was it? No, it was yesterday.
I was cleaning out.
No, you left early yesterday. I don't know. So, what? How do you say that street? M-O-D-O-C, Modoc or Modoc?
Modoc. Yeah.
Modoc Street. Yeah, right there.
The youngster and the girl got wounded.
No, that's a different thing. This was right here.
Yeah, it was just one the other day. It was like.
No, this was last night while we were in the class.
10 minutes later, you could hear the ambulance.
Maybe that was because we saw the police that night going like that way when we came out of the class. Maybe it was the other night.
Elijah told me, man, boy got killed over it.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Right there, like where I live at.
No.
Well, the street though, right?
You stay on.
Well, we ain't gonna say all that stuff on live stream, but yeah. But I stayed like 2 blocks down from Modoc. So
Okay.
when we were coming to the masjid now, we went down, and so I showed the kids. I said, "That's where the dude, that's where he got killed." Because it's like between us and the masjid, So when we came out like there, then we had like right after Kearney, like basically you got Kearney, and then you got 2 blocks down. That's where the dude got killed. So it's like it's basically right here in California. Go up a little bit, right there on Modoc. But you have to, go left. It's not like you got to go to Thorn, then you got to So maybe that's probably what you heard.
When you mentioned Thorn.
I'm behind the airport. Yeah. You go up Thorn. Yeah. So, that's why I can go 2 ways. I can go to Fresno.
Probably go 3 ways.
Huh?
Probably go home 3 ways.
Yeah, but there's 2 main ways, right? So I either go to Fresno Street, and then go up, like, what is it, A Street, B Street, or whatever these streets are, and then just go to the house. Or go California, or Caesar Chavez now. That's what they got it now. I think they changed it on Google Maps now. It's not California.
The first time.
Huh?
Right.
That's what I'm going to continue saying. California Avenue. That's what it
You
is.
tell the person, oh, it's over there on Caesar Chavez. What? Where's that? Oh, over there by McDonald's?
Yeah, because even me when I was driving down the first time, I'm like, kids, I think we're lost. Like, where is the Caesar Chavez come from? They just decided hey, tomorrow we're going to change the name of the street.
Yeah. No, they worked on it for a while.
Yeah, but they just changed it bam,
real quick.
Yeah, when you went to sleep, it was California Avenue. You woke up as Caesar Chavez. So.
And I didn't know they spend a lot of money on them names. To put on them street corners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They spend a lot of money.
Well, what are you laughing at now? Because you're way at the bottom. I'm still working my way down.
What's that on Jed?
Huh?
About my chef from Jed and some
Who?
Alright.
Everybody subscribe. So yeah, Abdul Malik, we're competing with Oakland now. All right. Because he's complaining in Oakland, he's like, man, I hear gunshots every morning, and none of that stuff's on the news,
No.
If you look at Oakland, nothing, people be getting killed left and right.
That's smaller than them.
Yeah, like every 10 people, they put one person on the news.
They got other stuff they deal with.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah, they got it. Like,
I came here and it was like, when I came here from Phoenix, it was like, man, they got a kid walking across the crosswalk at the school on the news. You know what I mean? When I first came here, I'm like, they got anything better, you know? The news just didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Oakland, they have it, but they just don't put it on the news.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff here going on, but they wasn't airing.
Yeah, of course, they want to keep
Yeah,
it.
because when I came here, this was the capital per capita. This was the capital of murder state for years. It stayed that way. You know, per capita it was.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
All right, so let me see. Share the live stream. What share the live stream? Instead, what should we do when the people in the masjid just don't want to stand feet to feet with you? I mean, the best thing to do is just have a group of people that you're with and you just stand with them. That's what we used to do in Jacksonville. Whenever we went in the masjid, I used to stand with my kids or stand with the other brothers, like, you know, the brother Mujahid, not my son, but the other
Mujahid. In the
Mujahid.
masjid, you're in or late or something, you have to jump in when you got to jump in.
I mean, I'm always with my kids, so they always pray next to me, so.
I'm talking about the guy that asked the question.
Well, I mean, you just gotta like be patient. Like, what can you do? You know?
I mean, I done done it. You know, people you try to put their foot in. People say time out. They don't want to do that. I understand.
Keeps getting farther.
I mean, for me, like here we don't really have that problem because here we don't really have that problem because here you got like the majority. You know, the majority of the people like here, American and Arab. And then you go to like Badr, it's mostly like a lot of Arabs. And then Fresno is what? It's mixed.
Fresno?
Yeah.
You know, it's been a long time since I've been.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, a lot of Arabs. So you don't have this.
That's all it is.
You don't have this problem with the Arabs. The Arabs will put foot to foot. Even the Egyptians, Yemenis, everybody will be foot to foot. This mostly has, you know, you have this problem with the Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, you know, everybody that basically they follow the Hanafi method. But I've never had this problem with anybody else. So, I mean, for us, I mean, we don't really have a lot of, you know, we don't have a lot of people here like that. So, alhamdulillah. But if you do go to those masjids, then you just have to be patient or just go with a bunch of people. Just go with a bunch of people. Said what? All these emojis people use these days allowed. The ones with the images, no, they're not permissible. Not permissible. I mean, use a thumbs up or use something like that, but it's not permissible to use the images because they're drawings. And you know, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ashaddu Adab yawm al-qiyamati lil-musawwirin." You know, for the people that have the most difficult, the most severe punishment on the Day of Judgment are the people that make those images. So there's no doubt. I mean, as far as you know, you sharing these drawings, you sharing these.
Which images is this?
The emojis.
Oh.
Because they're artwork, they're drawings, and you know, they're not. And even if they were human, I mean, still, it's not permissible to share them. But you know, it makes it even worse because you can't, you know. So you know, some people they like say, well, you know, this is a picture, this is not a drawing, and that no. I mean, you know, but you can't even come with that type of argument with an emoji or a drawing because it's a drawing, you know. Yeah, so you can't even try to argue with that. So, Muhammad Fatima, get off my lawn, huh? Yeah, I guess she's speaking to Abdul Malik.
What did it say? Get off the lawn.
Get off my lawn. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's see where else we got. Are all these pictures we take and save in our phones? I just answered that. No, it's not permissible. What ethnicity is Abdul Malik? Ask Abdul Malik. I don't give any information about people that they don't want to give about themselves. So if he wants to give it, he's in the chat, he can give it. You know what ethnicity Abdul Malik is? Scary. That's his ethnicity. Scary. When he gets angry, that's his ethnicity. Scary. All right. Ahsanallahu alaykum ustad. Allah preserve. Ameen wa iyyakum. What is the limit of awrah that can be exposed when a woman is in her room alone? If there be jinn in the room, can jinn give ayn? I don't know about the jinn giving ayn, I don't know. But they are there. You know, but the thing is like, the most important thing is that the people say Bismillah when they go into the house. You know, and I don't know what it is about people, akhi, where they don't understand the sunnah. You know, the Prophet ﷺ, he said about going into the house, that most people now, they just go into the house, Assalamu alaikum. Nobody's in the house, right? Assalamu alaikum. Like, who are you giving salams to, akhi? Say Bismillah, you know, because when you say Bismillah and you walk into the house, what? The shaitan says, La mabita lana. Like, we have no place to stay, because he said Bismillah when he walked in the house. And then when you say Bismillah when you eat the food, the shaitan says what? La mabita lana wa la asha. We have no place to stay and we have no dinner. You know, but then when you come into the house and you don't say Bismillah, then the shaitan has that, you know, he has a place to stay for the night. Then you start eating your food and you don't say Bismillah, then the shaitan says, now we got a place to stay for the night and we got dinner. So, I mean, so, you know, that's the best way to keep all the, you know, shayateen out your house. But still, you know, it's not just the jinn, but you also have to think windows and all this other type of stuff. So you gotta, you know, just protect yourself. Protect yourself. What advice do you give to husbands and wives who, whenever there is a problem, start complaining to their family members? You know, this is because everybody is trying, you know, you can't really give advice to people like that because they're acting like children. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is trying to just be right. So they go to their family. So the man's going to go to his family, complain about his wife so he can get somebody on his side. The woman goes to her family complaining so she can get somebody on her side. So what? So everybody's just trying to be right. It's not about being right. It's about trying to get to the truth. All right. Where the burgers at? You come late with something.
With a bottle of water,
Like,
half
hey,
a bottle of water.
pay us off, you know.
Well, we got busy right when we got close.
You know, but as far as like that, it's like, you know, you try to solve the problem. You know, the man has to be like, if the man's not rational, and the whole house is going to be chaotic. So that's that, you know, because women, when they get emotional, just, you know, women are going to be women. You know, it's like, and if you start acting like one too and getting emotional with her, what do you think the house is going to look like? You know, you got to be the one to calm the situation down. And if you're not that person, then khalas, you know, it's going to be chaos. People can give you all the advice in the world, but you have to be the one to like, you know, just to calm it down. You can't be the one getting emotional with her. I'm gonna run to my family and tell my mama, and she's gonna side with me. And then what is this, like become like a family game board? Come on, man. You know. How about if her father and husband ask her to do something around the same time? Who should she obey first? Her father and her husband? I mean, like, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. If her father is really in need of her, again, the father, you know, the husband should let her go up, and it's just the father. If she's really in need. If he's not in need and the husband's in need, then the father should understand the situation and say, hey, go deal with your husband first. Shaykh, for a woman, is the obedience to her mother before her husband? We already talked about that, right? In the beginning. If a what? I don't even know what that is. It's called something. I don't even know what that word is. We were having a discussion on TikTok, and one person was saying that the prayer rug is bid'ah. That's a statement of Ibn Qayyim. It's not a bid'ah to use a prayer rug, but it's a bid'ah to, I'm not going to pray unless I have one. You know, because they did not have prayer rugs. So that is a bid'ah. And that's what Ibn Qayyim was speaking about. It's not a bid'ah to use it, but it's a bid'ah where you will not pray without it. So you got people, they won't pray on the grass unless they put a rug down. They have to have a rug, wherever they are. You know, no, that's a bid'ah. You know,
حتى بيجي المسجد مع في مكان.
إيش؟
بعض الناس يعني تروح في المسجد حتى مع في مكان.
What is, I mean, the haram. The masjid al-haram, when you're doing in the place of tawaf, there's no carpet down there. What are you gonna do? Go and lay down a carpet down there? Is this what the Prophet ﷺ used to do? So no, khalas, you know. But to sit there and say, I have to have a carpet, that's bid'ah. But to use it, just to use it, that's no. I mean, if I have it, I have it. If I don't have it, I don't have the side. There's no problem. And that's what Ibn al-Qayyim was speaking about. So Muhammad Fatima said, yeah, Modoc has a shootout. Yes. Somebody died. Somebody died. Somebody definitely died.
I need that water bottle.
She said, what? It was the other night too. What did she say? Oh, he in the hood. Where do you think I live at, you know? I was a few minutes, like what, right down the street from the masjid, so it was like not that far, yeah. I remember the first time when we moved into the house.
She all being nosy.
Yeah. Now the first time when we moved into the house, and I said, man, I got to get to masjid for Salat al-Fajr, because I didn't have the car at that time. And nobody was picking me up. So I was like, Mujahid, man, when can you come pick me up? So Mujahid said, I'll pick you up tomorrow. Man, the first day that Mujahid picked me up, police had the whole street blocked off. He couldn't even get, because you know the streets are one way.
Yeah.
So if they blocked that one way, he's like, how am I going to get to his house? So it took him a while to get there. I was like, oh, man, he finally showed up. He's like, yeah. Then I looked, I was like, whoa, what's the street blocked off for, you know? And he's like, yeah, the whole thing is blocked off. I was like, it can't be like that. No. It's like, dude got killed right there in the alley. That was like our welcome to the house.
I remember the dude.
Yeah, that guy that got killed in the alleyway over there, right by Modoc, also the same street. But it was on the same street as me, so that whole block, you couldn't get off of A or B Street or whatever. We couldn't swing around because all of that was just
there.
Yeah, from the park all the way over.
Turn in.
Yeah.
Coming off here.
It's all blocked.
Did you
Yeah.
read the last comment? It said,
I was trying to
what are your thoughts on a man drinking from a cup?
food drive.
Says, good
The
morning.
dude that got killed, was he Muslim or you just knew him?
I was trying to get him in. I was trying to, give him encouragement.
The last
because I knew him from the streets.
Mm.
So, he came
Oh,
up
you
here
missed
one
it
day for
yesterday.
food. I told him, just keep coming back, man, and see. You know what I mean? He came back. I think I gave him some clothes. I got clothes from the house and gave them to him.
I need that.
And some other things, man. I ain't seen him, man.
Yeah, it's sad.
$2 here, man. No, he came back again. He said, Rob, I can't work with you today, but I'm gonna be back.
Oh, that was after, and then he got killed. Yeah, because even I showed the kids like where he got killed at. So look, it's in the alleyway, right? Yeah, and I'm like,
That's what it was behind. Dice game.
a dice game at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Dice game.
I knew it was like Fudge. We were going to Fudge. The police
Bargain behind the dice game.
and got killed.
He shot.
Oh, in an alley. That's why I was showing the kids. I'm like, look at this, man. Like this is how your life is, you know, in a dirty alley, you know.
It's crazy, man, how the streets got this.
Malik says, back to class, no more Fresno biz.
Not only is they on the drugs, brother, they stuck on these games and these smoke shops, the games and the smoke shops.
Yeah.
The Yemenis.
They addicted to that so bad, they spend like $40, $50 in a day.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're playing on your phone. They go give the smoke shop $40, $50 or $10 and then they play the games on the phone and try to win.
You're missing something. You're giving the Yemeni guys.
Huh?
The Yemeni smoke shop.
It's the Yemenis that run all the smoke shops. They go there just
That's
play
what
on
doing
that.
it then. 'Cause
Why do you think I keep mentioning this like almost every khutbah? You know, your money comes from a smoke shop, your money comes from, that's because most of the guys that are in the, you see all the Yemenis in the khutbah, yeah. All right, today we're not doing Bulugh al-Maram. We're doing something weird today. Not weird, but just completely off the beaten path. I was going to do this on Friday. But see, the problem is every time that I mention this hadith to people, they keep saying, huh? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go over there. Because even I was talking to you, man. I was talking to Hamza, and I was like, the hadith of Jassasa. I said, inshallah, on Friday I'll go over the hadith of Jassasa. And he's like, huh? So I'm like, you don't know the hadith of Jassasa in Sahih Muslim? I said, no. I was like, all right, man, we're going to have to go over this, because this was the hadith where Tamim al-Dari, before he became Muslim, where he was on a ship. And the ship, like, there was like I guess it's like a hurricane or whatever.
Oh.
So they got stuck, and like they got basically almost not shipwrecked, but they got pushed way out to an island for a month. You know, like the waves were just pushing them and pushing them. Huh?
Cast away.
Yeah, but no, they had the ship though. I mean, the ship was still intact. But they got to the island, and then they went to the island to see like what they could, where they're at, what they could do. And then, you know, then the person, a thing, we'll get to the hadith, I'm not going to go into great detail, but a thing said go to that, you know, go to the cave, you know, and when they got to the cave, it was the Dajjal that was in the cave. He was chained up, and he started asking them like a lot of questions about what's going on in the world. So this is the hadith, and then of course he went to the Prophet ﷺ after this and became Muslim, you know. So this is the hadith that I said, okay, because every time that I talk to somebody, they don't know this hadith. So I said, inshallah, just as a change of pace, we'll just, it's in Sahih Muslim, yeah. All right, so this is Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Fitan wa Ashrat al-Sa'ah. So this is in the book of trial of tribulations and the signs of the hour, the signs of the hour. Bab Qasat al-Jassasa. So this is the story of al-Jassasa. All right, so the hadith is hadith number 2,942. For anybody that wants to look this, you can go to sunnah.com and you can look this hadith up right now as we're going over it. It's 2,942. All right, حدثنا عبد الوارث ابن عبد الصمد ابن عبد الوارث وحجاج ابن الشاعر كلاهما عن عبد الصمد ولفظ لعبد الوارث ابن عبد الصمد. حدثنا أبي عن جدي عن الحسين ابن ذكوان حدثنا ابن بريدة حدثني عامر بن شراحل. عامر بن شراحل من هو؟ عامر بن شراحل من هو؟ You don't know this guy? Amr ibn Sharahil. Never heard of him before?
I heard of him.
You sure?
No, I have.
Okay, Amr ibn Sharahil, al-Sha'bi. Now do you know who he is? Al-Sha'bi. You don't know Sha'bi? Remember Sha'bi?
I heard of him.
Oh my God, you gotta stop working,
No.
stop cooking burgers, all that
No, I
grease
told
is
you,
messing
because
your brain up.
in the past year, I did all my focus. Like, I followed what you said in the book. Like, if you're doing something, you stick to that one. Like,
Okay.
Because you said, in the book, you said if you're only memorizing the Quran, that's the only thing you focus on. And that's what I did.
Oh.
That's the only thing I focused on.
Now start reading hadith now. So, all right, so Sha'bi. شعب همدان أنه سأل فاطمة بنت قيس.
Wait, Abdul Malik said, get us back to class.
We're on the class right now. We're reading hadith right now.
Oh, that's what he
It's
said.
probably a late.
Tell them to get back over here in Fresno.
All right, أخت الضحاك بن قيس وكانت من المهاجرات الأول. So here Fatima bint Qais, she's the sister of Dhahak ibn Qais, and she was from the Muhajirat, from the people that made hijrah, from the first people that made hijrah. فقالت حدثيني حديثا سمعتيه من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So they asked her, like, you know, tell me a hadith that you heard from the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا تسنديه إلى أحد غيره, and don't connect it to anybody other than the Messenger. We want to hear only a hadith that you heard only from the Messenger, not from somebody else, only from the Messenger. All right, فقالت لئن شئت لأفعلن, if you wish, I will do it. فقال لها أجل. So then he said to her, yes, please. حدثيني, like, give me a hadith. فقالت نكحت ابن المغيرة. She said, I got married to Ibn al-Mughira. وهو من خيار شباب قريش, and he's from the best of the youth of Quraysh يومئذ, in that during those days. فأصيب في أول الجهاد, and he was killed in the first jihad مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. فلما تأيمت, and whenever she became what? Like a widow, like she had no husband. خطبني عبد الرحمن ibn Auf, and then Abd al-Rahman ibn Auf, he came and to get it, he wanted to marry me. في نفر من أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, in a group of that came from the companions of the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم. وخطبني Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala mawlahu Usama ibn Zayd. But the Prophet, the Messenger of Allah, he told her what? He said, I want you to marry Usama ibn Zayd. وكنت قال حدثت أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من أحبني فليحب أسامة. And she said, and I had already been informed that the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, whoever loves me, then let him love Usama. فلما كلمني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قلت. So when the Messenger of Allah spoke to me, I said, أمري بيدك. My affairs are on your hands. Do what you wish. فأنكحني من شئت. Then you can, get me married to whoever you wish. Alright. فقال انتقلي إلى أم شريك. He said, go to Sharik. وأم شريك امرأة غنية من الأنصار. And she's a woman that's very rich from amongst the Ansar. عظيمة النفقة في سبيل الله. And she's known for spending a lot of money in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, I keep losing my spot. Alright. ينزل عليها الضيفان. And a lot of guests, they go to her. فقلت سأفعل. And she said, I will do this. فقال لا تفعلي. Then he said to her, don't go to Sharik. He said, what? إن شريك امرأة كثيرة الضيفان. That she's a woman who has a lot of guests, because she's a very noble person. She has a lot of money, so a lot of people come and visit her. All right. فإني أكره أن يسقط عنك خمارك أو أن ينكشف الثوب عن ساقيك فيرى القوم منك بعض ما تكرهين. So he said that I fear. Now watch this now. I want you to focus on this because we haven't gotten to the actual part of the hadith. She's getting up into what she's talking about, what's leading to the hadith, right? So the Prophet ﷺ told her, he said, don't go to Sharik because she has a lot of guests. And I fear that you might be in the house when she has a lot of guests around and your khimar might, fall off or it might come loose or something and the people might see your face. Watch it now. You see what the Prophet ﷺ told her, right? So what is the khimar?
Is the khimar like the burqa?
No, it covers the complete head, and some of them say the two shoulders. It covers it goes over the head to cover the head and the shoulders.
But not the rest of the body.
No, it's the jilbab. The jilbab.
So what's the burqa?
Yeah. I mean, it's like light. It's like light, so they can see through it. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's the khimar. So he said, I'm afraid that the khimar might come down for whatever reason, and the people they're gonna see her face. So. What does that show you? That covering the face, that the women didn't cover their face in the time of the Prophet ﷺ?
They covered.
But here, his concern was that her face would be exposed. Because if this comes off, then her face will be shown. And that was his concern for her. So he said, don't go there. All right, so after that he said, وَلَكِنْ all right. He said, خِمَارَكِ أَوْ يَنْكَشِفَ ثَوْبٍ مَنْ سَاقَيْكَ. Or that maybe your thawb, your full garment might come up and your shin become exposed or something like that, and the people will see it. And then the people see something that you dislike for them to see. He said, وَلَكِنْ انْتَقِلِي إِلَىٰ إِبْنِ عَمِّكَ. But he said, go to your cousin. Go to your cousin, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn Ummi Maktoum. Alright, and he said, وَهُوَ رَجُلٌ مِّن بَنِي فِهْرِ قُرَيْشٍ وَهُوَ مِنَ الْبَطَنَ الَّذِي هِيَ مِنْهُ. They're from the same tribe, basically. فَانْتَقَلْتُ إِلَيْهِ فَلَمَّا انْقَضَتْ عِدَّتِي. Because this was at the time of her iddah, because her husband was killed. Alright, so she had to go there and wait out her period of iddah because she had no place to stay. She couldn't stay in her husband's house. So she went there to go stay and complete her iddah so she could get married to Osama after this. Alright, فانتقلت إليه فلما انقضت عدتي سمعت نداء المنادي. So once my period of waiting is finished, I heard a person call out. نادى المنادي, like a caller, like a person, that calls out loud, right? And she said, منادي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. It's the caller, the person who calls the people when the messenger wants the people to gather together. ينادي الصلاة جامعة. الصلاة جامعة. Now, do you say a salat al-jami'ah for Eid? Is this bid'ah or is this correct?
There is no adhan on Eid.
Yeah, but do you say a salat al-jami'ah?
It's bid'ah, ain't it?
It's bid'ah, yes.
Or do you just say still?
Yeah, you just say, yes. Stove. So, you line the people up. You don't know why I'm saying that, do you? You don't pay attention to read, do you?
I did. Oh, on.
Yeah, you don't say this. You don't. The Prophet ﷺ only did this when he called the people to gather together for something that was important. He would call them if there was a khasuf, like an eclipse. He would have the person yell out Salat Jami'ah, and then congregational prayer, like everybody gather in the masjid. But in this case, he wanted the people to come together because he had to tell them something. So he told them this. He said, As-salata jami'a. فَخَرَجْتُ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ. So she said, I went to the masjid. فَصَلَيْتُ مَعَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فَكُنْتُ فِي صَفِّ النِّسَاءِ. And she said, I was in the row of the women. الَّتِي تَلِي ظُهُورَ الْقَوْمِ. That was behind the backs of the people. فَلَمَّا قَضَى رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. And when the messenger of Allah finished his prayer, جَلَسَ عَلَى الْمِنْبَرِ. He sat on the minbar. Now, he sit on the minbar for what? Because he wants to talk to the people. So he said, جَلَسَ عَلَى الْمِنْبَرِ وَهُوَ يَضْحَكُ. And he's laughing. Alright. فَقَالَ لِيَلْزَمْ كُلَّ إِنسَانٍ مُصَلَّاهُ. That everybody stay in the place where you pray. Everybody remain in the place where you pray. ثُمَّ قَالَ أَتَدْرُونَ بِمَا جَمَعْتُكُمْ. He said, do you know why I've gathered you together today? قَالُوا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَعْلَمُ. He said, and they said, all of them said, Allah and His Messenger know best. قَالَ إِنِّي وَاللَّهِ مَا جَمَعْتُكُمْ لِرَغْبَةٍ وَلَا لِرَحْبَةٍ. He said, I did not gather you together today for any issues of like a raghba is what? Like desire, like things that are, for like good things. Rahba is for fear. It's for like, to give you good news or to give you bad news. And I didn't gather you together for any of these purposes. He said, وَلَكِنْ جَمَعْتُكُمْ لِأَنَّ تَمِيمًا الدَّارِ كَانَ رَجُلًا نَصْرَانِيًا فَجَاءَ فَبَايَعَ وَأَسْلَمَ. He said, but I gathered you together because Tamim al-Dari, he was a man from amongst the Christians. And he came here and he gave the bay'ah to the Messenger ﷺ, and he became Muslim. وحدثني حديثا وافق الذي كنت أحدثكم عن المسيح الدجال. And he said, and he spoke to me he told me something that happened to him that agrees with things that I have told you in regards to the Masih al-Dajjal. And the Dajjal in the Arabic language, it means what?
Masih al-Dajjal, you said in English?
No, Dajjal.
The deceiver.
It's a kadab. It means like, if a person, but it's more like if his lying is so much to the point where it's just like it's not even bearable, then you say, هذا رجل دجال من الدجاجلة. Like this is, and they use these terminologies even amongst the people of Hadith. If the person is really, really, really just a pure liar, they'll call him a Dajjal. Kadab if he's just a liar, but Dajjal if he's just like his blood just bleeds lies,
Wouldn't kadhub be ashad than kadhab? Because didn't the Prophet...
Now they're both sigatul mubalagha.
Because the Prophet ﷺ, he called shaitan kadhub.
Yeah, but they're both sigatul mubalagha. Alright. So Masih al-Dajjal, that's what he's talking about. Alright, so he said, وَحَدَّثَنِي حَدِيثًا وَافَقَ الَّذِي كُنْتُ أُحَدِّثُكُمْ عَنْ مَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ حَدَّثَني أَنَّهُ رَكِبَ فِي سَفِينَةٍ بَحْرِيَّةٍ مَعَ 30 رَجُلًا مِنْ لَخْمِ وَالْجُذَامِ. He said, he told me that he was in a ship that was in the ocean, and he was with 30 other men from Lakhm and Wajudam. These are two different tribes. فَلَعِبَ بِهِمُ الْمَوْجِ شَحْرًا فِي الْبَحْرِ. And he said in the waves, they were, they just moved them around, because they were because the waves, the seas were not happy, So, and they did this, they went through this for an entire month. شَحْرًا فِي الْبَحْرِ. ثم أرفعوا إلى جزيرة في البحر. And then they basically approached like a land. Once they got to safety, once the oceans kind of chilled out, they found themselves at this small island in the middle of the ocean. All right, حتى مغرب الشمس, towards the setting of the sun. فجلسوا في أقرب السفينة. Aqrub here, it means the qarab. The qarab is like a small boat. Because you can't take the big boat inland, right? Because what happens?
Hits the bottom.
Yeah, it's going to get stuck and you can't get out. So what do? They anchor the ship in deeper water, and then they take the smaller boats, they lower them down, and they get on the smaller boats to go to the island to check out the island. I'm going to kick both of y'all out, man.
And then for what?
Yeah, because y'all keep laughing and smiling. Man, focus on the hadith, akhi.
Like the comments are going.
Yeah, don't worry about the comments. We'll read them later. Alright, فَجَلَسُوا فِي أَقْرَبِ السَّفِينَةِ فَدَخَلُوا الْجَزِيرَةَ. And then they went to the island. فَلَقِيَتْهُمْ دَابَةٌ أَهْلَبٌ كَثِيرُ الشَّعْرِ. So when they got to the island, they were met by like a beast, like a human, just so much hair, like it was just full of hair, right? So he said, فَجَلَسُوا فَلَقِيَتْهُمْ دَابَةٌ أَهْلَبٌ كَثِيرُ الشَّعْرِ لَا يَدْرُونَ مَا قُبِلُهُ مِنْ دُبُرِهِ مِنْ كَثْرَةِ الشَّعْرِ. That they don't know the thing's front from its back. It's a human, but it's like, it's got so much hair, you know, like it. You ever seen that thing? It.
Anyways.
There's so much, no.
Anyways, is it?
No.
No, that's not the
Spider.
It is
I'm talking about
No,
that.
No,
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about
Yeah,
that.
it.
It was that old, with the hair thing. No, that
I'm talking
wasn't.
about the thing or something like
The
that.
thing or something. I think it's called
Not
the thing.
But the,
Abdul Malik will know. Let's see.
You mean Belmont?
Abdul Malik will know, inshallah.
The
All
Belmont.
right. So basically it was like full of hair to the point where you couldn't tell its front from its back, you know, because of all the hair. So he said, فَقَالُوا وَيْلَكَ مَنْ أَمَا أَنْتِ. He said, woe to you, whoa, what are you? فَقَالَتْ أَنَا الْجَسَّاسَةِ. So she responded, I am the Jassasa.
Sheep.
Yeah, it's a sheep.
Dajjal is a sheep.
Huh?
Dajjal.
No, it's not the Dajjal. This is the beast.
Oh, the beast. Okay.
The little thing, the thing that they didn't know what it was. And the Jassasa obviously comes from the word Jassasa, which means to spy on. So like she's out there just spying for the Dajjal, right? Checking anybody that comes on the island. Maybe this was Epstein's island, I don't know. So it said, قالوا وما الجساسة. And he said, what is a Jassasa? قالت أيها القوم انطلقوا إلى هذا الرجل في الدير. She didn't answer. He said, what is a Jassasa? She said, look people, go to that cave over there. Go to that cave. انطلقوا إلى هذا الرجل في الدير فإنه إلى خبركم بالأشواق. Because he's eagerly awaiting to speak to you. So go to that cave. قال لما سمت لنا رجلا فرقنا منها أن تكون شيطانا. So she said, once there was a man in the cave, we hurried up and got out of there because we were thinking like this woman's like a shaitana. They just wanted to get away from her because they were afraid of her. Like, what is this thing? She won't explain. So they ran to the cave. فانطلقنا سراعا. So they said we went quickly. حتى دخلنا الدير, until we entered the cave. فإذا فيه أعظم إنسانا رأيناه قط خلقا وأشده وثاقا مجموعة يداه إلى عنقه. He said, when we got to the cave, we saw the hugest, like the largest person that we've ever seen. As far as creation-wise, like we've never seen a person this big. And he said, and he was the most severe, like he was just chained up in the most severest of manners. Like we never seen anybody chained up in the manner that he was chained up. Like the people did not want him to get out. So he said, وَشُدُّ وِثَّاقًا مَجْمُوعَةً يَدَاهُ. His hands were like chained like this, to the point where they did not want him to get loose. All right. So he said, "Yeah, مَا بَيْنَ رُكْبَتَيْهِ إِلَى كَعْبَيْهِ بِالْحَدِيدِ." And also between his knees and his ankles was all chained up with metal to keep him there. All right. He said, "Qulna waylak, man ma anta." And now he said, "Whoa, now what are you?" Because now we just had to deal with this thing, but what, but now they see this huge dude. Say, "What are you?" Imagine you land on an island. You go to the cave and now this huge dude just chained up in the cave now. It's like, what's going on here, right? He said, "Ma anta." قال قدرتم على خبري فأخبروني ما أنتم. He said, you're going to get what I'm going to tell you. Tell me who you are. This is what he told him. He said, you're going to find out who I am, but you tell me first who you are. So he said, فأخبروني ما أنتم. قالوا نحن أناس من العرب. We're people from amongst the Arab. ركبنا في سفينة بحرية. We were on a ship in the ocean. فصادفنا البحر حين اغتلم. And we were in the ocean when it started, the ocean started basically acting up, and the water, it got onto the ship. It passed the Tajawuz al-Had. It got, that's eghtalam. So the water even started to get on the ship, so we were having this many problems. فَلَعِبَ بِنَا الْمَوْجِ, and we were like pushed around by the waves, شهرا, for 1 month. ثُمَّ أَرْفَعْنَا إِلَى جَزِيرَتَكَ, and then we came and to seek refuge in this island, to just relax and find peace of mind, basically. هذه فَجَلَسْنَا فِي أَقْرُبِهَا فَدَخَلْنَا, so we sat in the smaller boats, like the canoe type boats. فَدَخَلْنَا الجزيرة, and we entered into this island. فَلَقِيَتْنَا دَابَةٌ أَهْلَبْ كَثِيرُ الشَّعْرِ, and then some beast met us that had a lot of hair. لَا يُدْرَ مَا قُبْضَهُ مِنْ دُبُرِهِ, and we didn't know the front of it from the back of it. مِنْ كَثْرَةِ الشَّعْرِ, from all the hair that it has. فَقُلْنَا وَيْلَكْ مَا أَنْتِ, so we said to this thing, what are you? فَقَالَتْ أَنَا الْجَسَاسَةِ, and she said, I'm the jasasa. فَقُلْنَا وَمَا الْجَسَاسَةِ, and he said, what is the jasasa? قَالَتْ اعْمِدُوا إِلَى هَذَا رَجُلْ فِي الدَّيْرِ, and so she said, go to this man in the cave. So we're here now. Basically, فَإِنَّهُ إِلَى خَبْرِكُمْ بِالْأَشْوَاقِ, because he's eagerly awaiting your information from you. فَأَقْبَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ سِرَاعًا, so we went to you quickly. وَفَزِعْنَا, we were very scared منها. وَلَمْ نَأْمَنْ أَن تَكُونَ شَيْطَانًا, we weren't secure enough to think like this got to be a devil. This woman has to be a devil. So we just run away from her. All right. فَقَالَ أَخْبِرُونِي, so now the Dajjal, he hears all this now, and he said, okay. أخبروني أن نخلة بيسان. He said Nakhla Baysan is a qarya in Sham. It's a qarya in Sham, which is Palestine. Regardless of what these kuffar want to call it today, it's a village in Palestine. All right. Obviously, the news is going to tell you that it's not Palestine, but it's Palestine.
It's Palestine.
Yeah. All right. So he said what? He said, أخبروني. What did I gotta stop. He said, أخبروني أن نخلة بيسان. قلنا أن أي شأنها تستخبر. He said, what about it are you asking? قال أسألكم عن نخلها. I'm asking you about the village and the date palms in the village. هل يثمر? Are they still producing fruit? قال هل تثمر? قال أخبروني عن بحيرة. And then he said after that, he said أخبروني عن بحيرة الطبرية. Buhayrat al-Tabariya is a lake. It's a large lake, also in Philistine, but it's called what do they call it in English now? Galileo.
Get down, boy.
Lake Galileo, or something like that. This is the Buhayrat al-Tabariya. I'm pretty sure somebody will have it. Alright, قلنا عن أي شأنها تستخبر. He said, what are you asking about? What do you want to know about this lake? قال هل فيها ماء? Is there still water in it? قالوا هي كثيرة الماء. He said, it has a lot of water. قال أما إن ماءها يشك أن يذهب. That the water from this lake, one day is close to not, to drying up basically. The lake is going to dry up. And he said, what's up?
Tamales.
Go get some tamales.
Go ahead.
Inshallah, after the class.
قال أخبروني عن عين زغر. Also, this is another place in Sham. And it says here بحر صغير معروف بشام. It's a small, it says بحر صغير, like a small sea in Sham. It's called عين زغر. قال عن أي شأنها تستخبر. What about it are you asking? So قال هل في العين ماء? The ayn is like the spring, of the water. Is there any water left in it? وهل يزرع أهلها بماء العين? And are they still using the water for farming and whatnot? And he said, قلنا له نعم. He said, yes. هي كثيرة الماء. It has a lot of water. وأهلها يزرعون من مائها. And the families of that area, they continue to use the water for farming. قال أخبروني عن النبي الأميين ما فعل. He said, now inform me about the prophet of the people who can't read. And what is he asking about? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because he said, أخبرني عن النبي الأميين. Because they used to refer to the Arabs as the Ummiyin. Because they were known, because Arabic in those days was not like a written language where you generally read it. It was memorized. So even the poetry, even though they wrote, they had a written language, but the majority of the people, they didn't write it. It was more of a spoken and memorized language. So he said, قالوا قد خرج من مكة ونزل يثرب. He said that he's left out of Mecca because he made hijrah. وَنَزَلَ يَثْرِب. Yathrib was the older name for what? Medina. All right.
I knew the answer.
You're taking too long because you're eating. قال أقاتله العرب. And then the Dajjal asked him, he said the Arabs, that they fought him. قلنا نعم. They said yes. قال كيف صنع بهم. What happened? What did they do to him? فأخبرناه, and then we informed him أنه قد ظهر على من يليه من العرب وأطاعوه. He said that some of the Arabs, he said فأخبرنا أنه قد ظهر على من يليه من العرب وأطاعوه, like all the other Arabs, they come out and they what? In obedience to him. All right. قال لهم قد كان ذلك. Is this so? They're following him and they're being obedient to him. قال قلنا نعم. قال أما إن ذاك خير لهم أن يطيعوه. This is the Dajjal. And what did he say to him? He said this is the best thing for them, and to what? To be obedient to him, to follow the messenger and be obedient to him. The Dajjal telling him, وَإِنِّي مُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنِّي. He said, now I'm going to tell you about me. All right, now he's already told him, he's asking him all these questions. Why was he asking him these questions?
To get caught up to date? Tell him about the signs?
No, because all of these signs, these are things that he wants to know how long it is that he has before he comes out. Because when this date palm stops producing fruit, when this lake dries up, when all these things happen, that's when it's time for him to come out. So that's why he was asking about those specific things, because he knows there's certain signs. Save the questions for later.
I was gonna say, because you know how you said that the Dajjal is very chained up.
I didn't say it, he said it.
I know, yeah. I was saying people shouldn't be like scared of the Dajjal, but what chained him up? That's like like the real.
No, I mean that's because he's for a point in time.
Like, who chained him up? Like
whoever Allah gave the power to chain him up. All right, so he said, وَإِنِّي مُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنِّي. So now I'm going to inform you about me. He said, إِنِّي أَنَا الْمَسِيحِ. He said, I'm the Masih. What does the word Masih mean? It comes from the word Masaha. Like a lot of the people, they translate this as like, oh, the Messiah, and he's coming back in the last day. No, the Masih is because when you put like white oil on the child's head, like a person who's anointed as a king or something, the Masaha, you do like you're putting like oil or something. This is where the word Masih came from. It has nothing to do, like it doesn't mean that he's the Masih, that he's coming back in the last days, but he's saying that I'm the Masih. But he's not the Masih. Who is the actual Masih? Isa ibn Maryam. He's the Masih, the Dajjal. He's the lying Masih. But he's not the real one. But he's not going to come back in the last days again. And the Christians there, because they don't know anything, they don't have the information that we have. Because what's in their book is a bunch of Shakespeare stuff. So they think that the Dajjal is going to come back and pretend to be Jesus. But he's not. That's nothing. No, where are the narrations that say he's going to pretend to be Isa? No, he's going to say, I am your Lord. He's going to pretend to be like God, like a God figure, because he's going to do all these different feats of just deception that the people are going to think this guy's you see it now. You see it with how the people they're getting geared to accepting that, because now you see they're even talking about basketball players, and they say, oh man, he's reached God-like status. But I'm saying just because what? Because he can put a ball in a hoop. So where is he creation? Where is the creation? What has he created? What has he done? What has he brought to life? And what has he caused? Nothing. But the point is that the people are already being programmed to accept this. So when he comes back and says, I'm your Lord, I'm God, I'm this, I create, watch this, I'm going to bring this guy back to life, and I'm going to cause all the plants here to die, and I'm going to cause the rain to come down, and he's going to be given these powers by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to test the people. And that's why there's no bigger test on the face of the earth than what? Than this test of the Dajjal. Because Allah will give him those powers. It'll give him the powers to even make an earthquake, to make, to stop rain in one area and make it rain in another. These are things, but Allah is the one who's doing it, but He's giving it like what is as a test for the people. As a test for the people.
How do we do jam' between this hadith? I'm not saying it's wrong, but isn't there a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ said, مَا تَرَكْتُ فِتْنَةٌ أَضَرَّ عَلَى الرِّجَالِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ. So obviously, we know that the strongest fitna for mankind is Dajjal. And the strongest test for men is women. So
yeah, but this is a fitna that you have to go through. The vast majority of the people from the creation of Adam alayhi salam to the final creation are not even going to be alive to see the Dajjal. But the fitna of the women is something that every man is going to experience. Every man has to experience. So that is the biggest fitna as far as like everybody's got to experience. But the fitna of the Dajjal is the greatest fitna, for the people that are going to be, and even the people that are alive like right now leading up to it. Because the level of deception that you see in the world right now, leading up to the Dajjal, just to get the people to ready to accept it, is you see. Look at it. Right now, a truthful person is called a liar, and a liar is held up as the most honest person on the face of the earth right now. And the taqlib al-haqa'iq, where they're just like twisting facts, and like, dude, you're like watching stuff and they're like saying, no, that didn't happen, the sun didn't come up today, you know what I'm saying, like literally, but we're sitting there watching them lie right in front of us,
Politicians.
And not just the politician, everybody. Politicians are just like, they lie once, like during their 4 years, but they come out and play this game, but now the deception is through the media, the movies, and everything. So anyways, back to this. So he said, وَإِنِّي مُخْبِرُكُمْ أَنِّي أَنَا الْمَسِيحِ وَإِنِّي أُوشِكُ أَنْ يُؤْذَنَ لِي فِي الْخُرُوجِ. And it's getting close to the time that I'm given permission to leave out of here, to go out. فَأَخْرُجُ فَأَسِيرُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. So I'm going to leave out of here and I'm going to go all around the world. فَلَا أَدَعُوا قَرْيَةً إِلَّا هَبَطْتُهَا فِي الْأَرْبَعِينَ لَيْلَةً. So he said, I'm not going to leave one village on the face of this earth except that I descend on that village. And I'm going to do this in 40 days. But is it going to be 40 days? Well, the first day is going to be like what? Like a sana, like 1 year. And what does that mean? Is it going to feel like a year, or is it going to be an actual year? It's going to be an actual, factual year. The sun is going to rise, and it's going to stay for an entire year before it sets. All right? It's going to stay like that for a year. When they asked, when the Sahaba asked the Prophet ﷺ, he said, is it enough for us to do what? Pray what? Just the 5 prayers because it's going to be 1 day? And he said, no. He said, what did he say? And like you have to count it out and you have to look at it like what, because you're going to still have the sense of time, obviously. So you have to like break it up into a year worth of prayers. You're going to pray a year worth of prayers like Maghrib, like Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and sun's up. And then you're going to do it again. Like you're going to go like the next day, but you have to break it up based on what you know and like what time it is. Because it's not just like, the sun's coming up, we're going to pray Fajr. 6 months later, we're praying Dhuhr. 6 months later, we're praying like Isha. No, you have to break it up. You're going to pray the salawat of the year while the sun's up.
Wouldn't this be dalil that the earth is flat? Wouldn't this be dalil that the earth is flat?
Let's focus on this right now.
Because
Allah, I'm not even trying to open this up for another topic right now. Because that's one of those topics that they're going to go crazy in here without, and lose all focus about this. All right, so he said after that, he said, فَأَخْرُجُوا فَأَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَلَا أَدَعُوا قَرْيَةً إِلَّا هَبَطْتُهَا فِي 40 لَيْلَةً غَيْرَ مَكَّةَ وَطَيْبَةَ. He said, except for 2 places on the whole entire earth, I won't be able to go. He said, Mecca wa Tayba. He said, فَهُمَا مُحَرَّمَتَانِ عَلَيَّ كِلْتَاهُمَا. He said, these 2 places are haram, they're impermissible for me to go into them. He said, كُلَّمَا أَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَدْخُلَ وَاحِدًا. Each time, any time that I try to go into one of these 2 places, أَوْ وَاحِدًا مِنْهَا, or just one of the 2, if not both of them, اسْتَقْبَلَنِي مَلَكٌ بِيَدِهِ سَيْفٌ سَلْتًا. He said that an angel is going to be there to greet me at the door with a sword that's unsheathed. And the angel's going to say, you ain't coming in here. And then he has to go away. every time that he tries to go into these two places, which are what? Mecca wa Tayyiba.
Where's the
Well, wait, the Prophet's going to explain that. That's why I let him explain it. I'm not going to explain it. He says, يصدني عنها, and he blocks me from going in. وإن على كل نقب منها ملائكة يحرسونها. And every single wall of all the walls around Medina, everywhere you see, there's angels. You know, I guess I just messed up. I didn't give the Prophet the chance to explain it. He said that there's going to be angels that are guarding it. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وطعن بمخصرته في المنبر. So he like, this, هذه طيبة, you know, he's saying, this is طيبة. And he's yelling on the minbar. And he said, what? This is طيبة, like Medina. He said, this is طيبة, you know, طيبة, sorry, not طيبة, طيبة. هذه طيبة, يعني المدينة. على هل كنت حدثتكم ذلك? He said, have I not told you this? And this is the Prophet ﷺ speaking. He said, I have not told you what he told you. He said, هل كنت حدثتكم ذلك? فقال الناس نعم. And all the people said, yes. فإنه أعجبني حديث تميم. So I was amazed by the speech of Tamim, أنه وافق الذي كنت حدثتكم عنه, that it agreed with what I told you from before. وعن المدينة ومكة, about Medina and Mecca, because he informed them from before that the Dajjal will not be allowed to go into Mecca and Medina. It's another hadith. So he said, أنه وافق الذي كنت أحدثكم عنه وعن المدينة ومكة ألا إنه في بحر الشام. Bahr al-Yemen. He said he's in the sea close to Sham or the sea close to Yemen. La bal. He said no. He said min qibl al-mashriq. He's towards the east. Ma huwa min qibl al-mashriq. Ma huwa min qibl al-mashriq. He said no, he's not towards the east. No, he's not towards ma hu. Wa awma bi yadihi lil-mashriq. And he pointed with his hand towards the east. قالت فحفظت هذا من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, and she said, and I memorized this from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's other narrations, but interesting. Now you know the hadith, huh? Now you know the hadith of the Jassasa, yes? There's other narrations from it. You can go Sahih Muslim. They'll bring the different narrations.
questions?
Well, a lot.
What do you want me to read?
Mujahid's up in there.
Yeah, your son's here.
He's all in this place.
Cyberly here.
He's over here.
You know, he's the mufti in the chat now.
I don't know where to start because I don't know where we stopped at with the questions because I got to weigh up. This is a lot.
I can read them.
Huh?
I got you.
Go ahead. Abdul Malik said the live went off. Is it back on?
It should be on.
So everybody's live still on, right?
Yeah, it's still on. It's still on.
Okay, mic's going off for him then. He said this at 8:47. No, this was 8:47. Oh no. I just saw the message. That's all. That was when my son he first did the live, but it was upside down.
Oh.
So Abdul Malik he sent me a message that the live went off. I thought he was talking about now because I didn't see the message before.
Someone says, Ustad, is it allowed to tell a joke that includes a man drinking from a good morning, beautiful
What?
Good morning.
Man, stop, man. I told you. See, Abdul Malik, he gave you advice yesterday. And what did he tell you? He said, stop reading the rainbow questions. That's what he told him. He said, stop. He said, tell Hamza, stop reading the rainbow questions. I don't know where this fuzzy thing went. We lost the fuzzy thing. It's probably down. We'll find it later, inshallah.
Ustad, when we have sleep paralysis, you can't speak to make adhkar, so how do you get out?
And your heart. Make a thought on your heart. I told you the story about that before. That was Fareed. He told me about that. So. We also got to read the hadith about Ibn Sayyad. You know about him?
Ibn Sayyad.
You know him?
Heard of him.
Yeah, you guys don't read hadith in America. What's going on?
No, we do.
Ibn Sayyad.
What's about it?
Huh? Wow. Does anybody in the chat know who Ibn Sayyad is? And I'm going to go wherever you're at, if you know. Wow. I'm not.
Oh, so here
You got an excuse though, because how long have you been Muslim now? 9 months. Yeah, you're excused.
9 months? Oh, yeah. I thought it was over a year.
You're excused. But these guys, Muslim his whole life doesn't know who Ibn Sayyad is.
Ustad, is marriage fatal since I plan to stay?
I'm trying to see if somebody actually knows Ibn Sayyad. I'm not worried about your marriage right now. Anonymous says yes. My son puts al-Bukhari 1294. Time lapse says for sure I know the suspected Dajjal. Yeah, they thought that he was the Dajjal. And what they came to the conclusion was that he is a Dajjal from amongst the Dajjal before the big Dajjal. You know, so we have to, inshallah, maybe Friday. Friday we'll read the hadith about Ibn Sayyad. Because Sahih Muslim, he has a whole chapter just for that. Just for those hadith.
Questioner, min al-Muslimin, alhamdulillah ya Rabbil Aleen. Said yes, alhamdulillah. Because in the name, min al-Muslimin, alhamdulillah ya Rabbil Aleen, they didn't put the meme. So al-Aleen means like the high ones.
Oh, you know what though? I see Muhammad Fatima said, yeah.
No, I highly doubt she knows.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm pretty sure she probably does know who he is. I'm shocked about you guys not knowing. I know about Ibn Sayyad when I was like 16 years old. I think, come on. It's in Sunan Abi Dawud because the hadith are in there too, you know. I didn't have access to Sahih Muslim when I was 16, so I only had Sunan Abi Dawud. So I read about those hadith. I used to read them so much until I had a dream about it, but I'm not going to go into that because that's none of y'all's business.
Someone said he claimed to be a messenger.
I mean, he claimed to be a lot of things, but yeah.
Wait, are we talking about Musayyid Kadab?
No, Ibn Sayyad. This was in the lifetime of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He lived in Medina. So yeah, we'll go over the hadith inshallah. Bring some other questions in. Maybe Friday. We'll read a few hadiths from Adab al-Mufrad and inshallah the rest we'll just dedicate it to Ibn Sayyad.
Someone says, why is that Tawheed al-Rububiyyah is not given as much emphasis as compared to other types of Aqidah, and which books cover Rububiyyah? Oh, Ibn Uthaymin went off on this subject.
Because the majority of the people from the fitrah, they have the basics. I'm not saying the tafsil. We're not talking about all even the mushrikun had basic knowledge of rububiyyah. Like if you were to ask them, who's your creator, who's your sustainer, who gives you life, and who causes you to die, all of them are going to say, what? Allah. So the emphasis was not on that because that was something that the people, they had the belief in it. But the problem is like, okay, you believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your creator. You believe that He's your sustainer. You believe that He gave you life and He's going to cause you to die. And you believe that He's the one that provides for you. So why do you worship other than Him? So this was the issue. This was the major issue where the people went astray. Was they went astray because they they knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had, these are His sifat, these are His attributes, but you go and you worship something other than Allah. So the focus was on calling the people back to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because once they go back to the worship of Allah, through the Quran, you're going to understand the, Tawheed al-Rububiyyah in detail. But you're not going to understand it if you understand the basics of it, but you're worshiping other than Allah. So that's why the emphasis was on what? The worship. To get the people to worship, because that's where the people went astray the most.
As for the question for Mir al-Muslimin, alhamdulillah Rabbil Aleen, the answer is yes. But
my son said, Hamza, why are you ignoring my question?
No, it's because you already went over it. That's why you mentioned Sahih Bukhari. So I was like,
I don't know. What was his no? That might have been something different. He said, narrated. Oh, I didn't see it. He put the hadith. ليس منا من لطم الخدود وشق الجيوب ودعا بدعوى جاهلية. What's your question? Yeah, Ibn. Are you putting that up for somebody else or what? I think I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Jahad, what's your question? I don't even know what your question is.
So here's a good question. I just want to confirm, for the woman, is obedience for the mother come before her husband, because I thought the husband takes precedence in obedience?
Like I said, look at the situation. Her mother is still, we spoke about that. If her mother needs her, and it's something that nothing that she has to do it. Nobody else can do it, then she has to go and help her mother. And her husband should be patient with that. She needs her. But if it's somebody else that can go and fulfill that obligation, like maybe one of her sisters, and she's there, and then she can deal with her husband, and then khalas, one of her sisters, but the important thing is somebody, but if it's something that only she can do, or maybe her mother doesn't have anybody but her, because maybe like her other brothers and sisters, maybe they're out in another country somewhere. So she's gonna be the one that's gonna be taking care of business. That's that. She has to, that's her mother. And the husband shouldn't stand in the way of that.
But what if he does?
He needs to fear Allah. You can't keep her from the obedience to her mother.
Could you tell us some sunnahs related to the miswak?
It's all in there. You can read all of that in Umdatul and Bulugh al-Maram and all that. The Prophet ﷺ used to use the siwak before every salat. And he said, "Lo la nashuka ala ummati la amaratukum bis-siwak in kull salat." He said, if in another narration in the kull wudu, he said, if I wasn't that I would, cause a burden or difficulty on my ummah, that I would command them to use the siwak for every salat. And he used to make it when he used to wake up out of his sleep before he started to, make wudu and pray at night. So, and also whenever he used to go into the house.
Fatima said, "No, I don't know who he is, but I will know now, Hamza, inshallah." I told you. How do you know?
Oh, they were saying yes to the live stream being on, not yes to them knowing. And I said, yeah, all right.
Obama.
Is it true that after the Prophet ﷺ died, there was a woman in the Jazirah al-Arab, she came out saying that she's a prophet, and then Umar ibn Khattab and Khalid ibn Walid was out to kill her?
They didn't kill her though. She became Muslim.
But like before she became Muslim, they were out to kill her.
Yeah, she said, yeah. And they sent one of the guys there and took care of business, but she didn't die though. Yeah, she ended up making Tawbah.
So who was better in war? Umar?
Sometimes, if you want a woman to stop calling herself a prophet, you send a player. They don't go with force. They send the guys like, I'm gonna convince her. And she made Tawbah. So khalas.
So who was better in war? Khalid ibn Walid or Umar ibn Khattab? Because they're both great people.
Yes, I don't know. That's the ulama. Everybody has their visa,
Is it okay for someone to say, "Can you do me this favor for me as I did a favor for you yesterday," as a reason for the people to do them favor for them?
Huh? I don't know.
Is it okay for someone to say, "Can you do me this favor for me as I did a favor for you yesterday," as a reason for the person to do them favor for them?
No. Who did you do the favor for in the first place? That's a manni wal adha. It's like, you give somebody something and you constantly want to sit there and bash them over the head. Remember I did this for you and I did this for you because now you want them to do something for you. No, that's not permissible. You do the person a favor, you do them a favor for the sake of Allah. You're not doing it for them, and you're not doing it because you want something back from them.
What if that person says, "You never did any good for me"? Then can you mention, "But what about I did this to you and I did this for you"?
If you're being good to a person and the person says that to you,
Walk away.
yeah, I'm saying, it's like, khalas, if I've never done anything good for you, khalas, ma salama. I hope you find somebody that.
They stone cold liars.
Yeah, because you're going to see that person, what happens to them. They're going to end up going off and, being around people that are way, destroy their lives, basically.
Worse than they were.
Yeah. Worse than the lies that they told, you know. They actually live out the lies that they told. All right, inshallah, we gotta wrap this up because this stuff is. We gotta pray. We gotta